It is a new week, and that means a batch of new PlayStation 4 game releases, and this week is packed with new games. Specifically, tomorrow we'll take a look at some of the releases later in the week in a future video. But we're going to be highlighting 7 new PlayStation 4 games coming tomorrow. That includes a brand new RPG that I'm excited for, a new Metroidvania title that looks absolutely awesome, a free-to-play JRPG, and a lot of other titles. One of the best story-driven games is coming to the PS4 in the form of a collection. That's a release that's going a little bit under the radar, so we'll cover all of that and much more in this video. So without further ado, let's get right into it, and let's kick things off with Greedfall. Greedfall is a game that I've talked quite a bit about. I did a standalone video on it, 11 things that you need to know about the game before you buy. This is the latest RPG coming from Spiders, the studio that also brought you Mars Warlogs as well as the Technomancer. Those games were pretty good. However, Greedfall looks to be on another level in terms of budget and quality. Now, I should mention that right away when you play this game, you're gonna realize that it's not necessarily at the budget level of the top tier RPGs like a Witcher 3. However, it is a quality game in its own right, an open world fantasy RPG that has you engage in a core role-playing experience and forge the destiny of a new world seeping with magic and filled with riches, lost secrets, and fantastic creatures. Customizability and decision-making is the name of the game within Greedfall. Right away, you'll design your character. There's a lot of options there, a lot of choices in dialogue as well, and there's also a lot of choices in the gameplay and how you map out the points to your character and how you develop your character, how you want to tackle the world. All of that stuff is present in Greedfall, and I've been saying that if this game is of relative quality, comparatively speaking to Spiders' other projects, this could be the game that puts Spiders on the map. And best of all, it is being released at a slight budget price point at $49.99 instead of $59.99. I'm always appreciative of that, given that there's 8 million games coming out this season and really going into early 2020. Whenever you can save a little bit of money on any game on day one, that is something that I can absolutely get behind. This is the kind of game that maybe I wouldn't pick up on day one. I would add it to your wish list for now. I know so many of you are busy with Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Later this week, we have the release of Borderlands 3, and those are significant time investments. Do you really want to tack on another RPG, an open world one at that, on top of those games? If you can manage it, absolutely, or if Greedfall is the game that really stands out to you compared to those two titles, by all means, check it out. But I think for most of you guys, it is a game that you're gonna wait on the review, see how it turns out, and maybe even wait on a sale. And given that it's already at a budget price point of $50, I imagine it'll be south of $30 pretty quickly. Moving on from that, here's a game that looks awesome, and some of you guys have actually been asking me to talk more about it, and that is Blasphemous. I haven't mentioned this game in a little bit, but this game looks awesome. It's an action Metroidvania title with an old school art style. Really, that old school art style is captivating to me, and I think a lot of you guys are gonna be enamored by that. It's described as a punishing action platformer that combines the fast-paced, skilled combat of a hack-and-slash game with deep and evocative narrative core, delivered through exploration of a huge universe comprised of non-linear levels. The game will have you overcome fearsome enemies and deadly traps as you venture through a variety of different landscapes and search for redemption in a dark gothic world. A brutal combat as well. Release the power of mea culpa, a sword born from guilt itself to slaughter your foes, acquiring devastating new combos and special moves as you purge all in your path. This game is bloody as hell, so if you're a little bit squeamish, I don't know about this one. Even with its old school look, it's super bloody, and there are some vicious executions as well. Unleash your wrath and relish in the gory dismemberment of your adversaries, all in beautifully rendered pixel perfect execution animations. And there's a lot of customization in this game as well. Discover and equip relics, rosary beads, prayers, and sword hearts to give you new abilities and stat boosts you need to survive. The game is going to be challenging, so you want to take the customization path that best suits you and experiment with different combinations to suit your playstyle. Also, intense boss fights are going to be featured in the game. Hordes of gigantic twisted creatures stand between you and your goal. Learn how they move, survive their devastating attacks, and emerge victorious. And there's quite a bit of mystery surrounding the game as well. The world is full of tormented souls. Some offer you aid, some may ask for something in return. Uncover the stories and fates of these tortured characters to gain rewards and deeper understanding of the dark world you inhabit. Blasphemous is out tomorrow, and this looks to be an incredibly compelling game. Hope you guys know about it now, at the very least add it to your wish list, but I imagine if priced accordingly, this is one that you guys are going to pick up right away. Next up, I did a full video on this yesterday, so check that out if you're interested, but Caravan Stories is a brand new free-to-play MMO JRPG coming to the PlayStation 4. And this is a game that I know a lot of you guys are somewhat skeptical on based on the kind of simplistic gameplay, but I really do dig the presentation style, and given that the free-to-play repertoire on PlayStation 4 has been expanding rapidly, a Japanese game being added to that library is something I think will do rather well. It is a free-to-play game at the end of the day, so at the very least you can give it a chance without investing anything outside of your time. The game itself will have you begin your journey through a never-ending fantasy world across many different races. The game also features 5 different races. Battle system is a little bit simplistic. You do have a variety of skills, and you'll have to time the use of your skills well to gain a chance at victory in battle. You've got a variety of different raids. When the skies open up, gather your allies and confront the massive bosses, and you can duel as well. Aim for the top in a tower defense with a twist. Make allies with over 100 different species of beasts to be discovered within the game, and there will be a day and night cycle. The scenery changes depending on what time it is, morning, noon, evening, and night. And you'll have the hub world of the caravan. Customize your caravan to be your very own and set off on an adventure. The game does seemingly make a pretty smooth transition to the DualShock 4 controls, and this game has been out for a little bit over on the Japanese PlayStation Store. It actually was out on the Japanese store, and it featured English language options. I imagine the majority of you guys didn't go through the trouble to try it out that way. However, now as a free offering on the PlayStation Store, a game at the very least I do think is going to be worth checking out. Next up, we have The Walking Dead, the Telltale Definitive Series. If you have yet to check out Telltale's The Walking Dead, it is coming in its complete collection with the Telltale Definitive Series. Thank God that Skybound was able to get this done, given that we thought for a little bit the final season wasn't going to be concluding, but thankfully it has ended, and now you can get the entire series for $50, which I think is a relatively good buy and a good value. The Walking Dead, the Telltale Definitive Series contains all 4 seasons and the 2 mini-seasons, which includes over 50 hours of gameplay across 23 unique episodes with graphical enhancements, behind-the-scenes bonus features, and faithful recreations of classic menus. This is the definitive way to experience Clementine's journey and find out how her story ends. You've got graphical enhancements. Graphic black art style brings Season 4's enhanced visual style to all previous seasons of the acclaimed series, behind-the-scene bonuses, exclusive looks at the making of the game from the developers, voiceover artists, and other team members that brought Clementine's story to life, and even more digital bonuses, music player that includes 40+ tracks across all seasons, art gallery, 3D model viewer with playable voice lines, and new 3D front end that still includes the original menus and music from all past seasons. I imagine the majority of you guys have at least played The Walking Dead at some point, but I also imagine the majority of you guys didn't play through it in its entirety. Maybe you watched it online, whatever the case may be. If you do want to go through it yourself, make all your own decisions, or maybe try it out for the first time. Maybe some of you guys just never got the appeal of a story-driven game like this that is light on the gameplay. I would highly recommend it, although this is also a game that I could see going on sale rather quickly. The Walking Dead titles just go on sale pretty quickly, and if you could get something like this for a little bit cheaper, say come Black Friday, it's down to $29.99 or $24.99, that would just be an absolute bargain given all the content you're getting. But it's Walking Dead, and I thought it was worth a mention with the definitive series being released. And hopefully at some point we could get The Wolf Among Us Season 2. I don't know if that's ever going to come to fruition, but in my opinion, The Wolf Among Us was Telltale's best outing. But again, given Telltale's rocky state at this point, who knows if their games are ever going to come to fruition. At the very least, you've got the Telltale Definitive Series of The Walking Dead, so check that out. Alright, next up, we have an older PC title making the transition to the PlayStation 4. Distraint Deluxe Edition is coming to the PS4, and this released all the way back in 2015, so a lot of you guys probably don't know about it, but it is a very interesting title, a psychological horror game with a very captivating presentation style. Distraint is a 2D psychological horror adventure. In order to secure a partnership in a famous company, Price seizes the property of an elderly woman. In that very moment, he finds out the price of his humanity. You step into the shoes of an ambitious young man named Price in order to secure a partnership. It's a horror novel style game. It is dark and grim, but also has its share of dark humor. The story progresses quickly, which allows for several settings and scenarios. Your journey will last around 2 hours, so yes, it is a very short game. However, it's being released at $4.99. At least that's how much the PC version costs, and I imagine it would be released at the same price point on PS4, so really, $5 for 2 hours of gameplay? Yeah, that sounds about right. The gameplay is simple but effective. You move left and right and solve puzzles to progress through the atmospheric story. Side-scrolling 2D with unique hand-drawn graphics, atmospheric music and sound design, minimalist interface so your focus never wavers from the experience. Delve into a unique story full of intriguing twists, a one-man effort, no asset flips or cheap tricks, just hard work here. The game was received very well on PC, a 76 on Metacritic, but painted an even more positive picture with the Steam reviews, 3,813 Steam user reviews, 94% positive, so just 1% shy of having an overwhelmingly positive reception. $5 for the game? Hey, this might be a game you just pick up, check out one evening, have that experience there, and move on to the next title. Kinda works well that way, and there's actually a second title released, Distraint 2 on PC. That goes for $8.99 and was received even better than the first title, so hopefully that comes to PS4 at some point as well. That would be pretty nice given that the first game was of quality, but the first game will be dropping tomorrow. Alright, next up we have Utawarerumono Zan. Sorry if I butchered the pronunciation of that, but this is a franchise that's been around for a little bit. This action-packed brawler is a reimagination of the story of Haku, a man with no memories and great conflict that consumes the land he calls home. Take control of over 12 legendary heroes from the franchise and utilize their unique strengths and abilities to engage hordes of enemies in ferocious melee combat, venture through dynamic battlefields, unleash devastating special moves, and experience a grand tale of war and destiny. Online multiplayer is included as well for up to 4 players to team up and conquer multitudes of enemies. Witness the legend. The tale of war comes to life with fully animated cutscenes, a first for the series, so that's pretty cool. And this one is going to definitely hit a more niche crowd, however, it is due out tomorrow, so I thought I'd mention that as well. And lastly, for those of you with PlayStation VR, I want to let you guys know about Battlewake. This game looks pretty cool, and it is a VR exclusive release, and it notes a vast matey, there be high seas mayhem ahead in Battlewake, a VR exclusive seafaring combat game from the creators of Raw Data and Creed Rise to Glory, so some notable titles there. As 4 ancient superpowered pirate lords fighting for ultimate dominion, you'll captain a massive battle-ready ship, navigate lush elemental seascapes, and embark on a larger-than-life nautical war for the ages full of magic, mystery, and mayhem. Battlewake transforms you into 4 fearsome superpowered pirate lords locked in a constant struggle for dominion over the lush landscapes of New Earth. Each is a figure of myth and might, fiercely devoted to their plundering way of life and the riches it brings in both spirit and treasure. The game's got solo, cooperative, and PvP gameplay. Navigate the epic 20-chapter story of the pirate lord's quest to discover an ancient seat of power in solo and co-op campaign mode, work together to complete objectives in dynamic warfare mode, or fully embrace the pirate's life in a plunder and free-for-all PvP deathmatch. You've got powerful ultimates and attacks, channel the pirate lord's ancient powers for exhilarating chaos in the heat of battle, turn the tide in your favor with massive ultimates, unleash mighty tsunamis, send enemy ships flying in maelstroms, destroy hulls with bone spikes, and literally release the Kraken, and upgrade your ship and skills from your captain quarters, spend gold earned from matches to boost your ship's stats and level up your pirate lord abilities, upgrade your arsenal with 13 different real and fantastical ship-based weapons including flat cannons, ballista, axe throwers, chain cannons, mortars, and much more. If you've got PlayStation VR, this might be a title to check out. Again, Battlewake is due out tomorrow exclusively for VR. There's gonna be no traditional gameplay mode. You have to have PlayStation VR, so just be mindful of that. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, I don't see the big budget game tomorrow. We don't have the release of a Borderlands 3 or a game at that level. However, games across a wide variety of different genres. You want an open world RPG? You got that in Greedfall. You want a quality old school Metroidvania title? Blasphemous looks to be your game. A free-to-play JRPG, Caravan Stories, a story-driven game. Those of you that have never checked out The Walking Dead, the Telltale Definitive Series is going to be a cool buy. A horror game, a psychological horror title in Distraint, and it's only $4.99, and a VR title in Battlewake as well. So that's going to conclude 7 awesome new PS4 games coming tomorrow. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let us know if you're picking any of these games up, if you're adding any to your wish list, or are you waiting for a release of a Borderlands 3, or are you invested into Monster Hunter World Iceborne, or are you invested into a different game altogether? Let us know in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.